The gala smells like champagne and lies. Romano Arcuri doesn't do charity events. He funds them quietly, from a distance, the way men with blood on their hands keep their names clean. But his attorney insisted. Optics matter when federal attention shifts your direction. So here he stands. Black tuxedo, gold watch, smile that doesn't reach his eyes, pretending to care about pediatric cancer research while scanning exit routes out of habit. That's when he sees it. The ring. His ring. On her hand. The world tilts. Not because she's here. Not because she looks different, older, sharper, wearing confidence like armor, but because the diamond on her left hand catches the light, and every man in this room can see what was never meant to be seen. She's wearing it in public. His chest tightens. That ring wasn't a proposal. It was a brand. A private mark of ownership meant for closed doors and whispered promises. She knew that. He made it clear the night he slid it onto her finger. This stays between us until I say otherwise. She never wore it outside the penthouse. Not once. Until now. Romano's hand tightens around his whiskey glass. Across the room, Daria laughs at something a man in a gray suit says. The man, tall, clean-cut, forgettable, touches her elbow. She doesn't pull away. The ring glitters. She brought a date. Romano. His second in command, Luca, appears at his shoulder. Young, loyal, observant enough to know when his boss is 3 seconds from violence. That's her, isn't it? Luca's voice drops. The one who... Yes. She's wearing I know what she's wearing. Luca shifts his weight. You want me to... No. Romano's voice stays flat, controlled, not here. But his eyes don't leave her. Daria turns slow, deliberate, and her gaze finds his across 50 feet of marble and crystal chandeliers. Recognition flashes. Then something worse. Defiance. She doesn't hide her hand. Doesn't curl her fingers into a fist or slip it behind her back. She holds a stare and lets the ring catch the light again. A challenge. Or a death wish. Romano doesn't know which. The man in the gray suit leans closer to her, says something that makes her smile. His hand moves from her elbow to the small of her back. Possessive. Romano's jaw clenches. 3 years ago, she walked out of his life wearing that ring like a secret. Now she's back in his city, flaunting it like a trophy, letting another man touch her, while his claim sits on her finger. She knows what this means. In his world, wearing another man's ring in public is either a promise or a provocation. She chose provocation. Luca clears his throat. Boss, if she's trying to... She's not trying anything. Romano sets his glass down with careful precision. She's already done it. What do you want me to... Find out who he is, where she's staying, and make sure no one else notices that ring tonight. Because if the wrong people see it, if they understand what it represents, blood will follow. Not hers. His. The man touching her. Maybe both. Romano starts across the ballroom. Each step measured. Controlled. But inside, something ancient and violent wakes up. She wanted his attention. She has it now. If you've ever seen someone you thought you'd buried walk back into your life, wearing proof that they never really left, you know this feeling. The shame, the rage, the part of you that still wants them, even though you shouldn't. Subscribe before the next part unfolds, because what happens when he reaches her isn't romance. It's reckoning. Hit the bell. Comment if you wear the ring or burn it. Some choices don't wait for permission. The ring was never supposed to exist. Romano bought it on impulse 3 weeks after meeting Daria Fallaci in a conference room that smelled like burnt coffee and desperation. She'd been hired to rebrand his legitimate businesses, the ones that didn't involve offshore accounts or concrete shoes. Marketing consultant, 26 years old, MBA from a school that taught ethics like they mattered. She walked into his world armed with PowerPoint presentations and naive faith that monsters could be tamed with better PR. He knew within 10 minutes he'd destroy her. Within 20, he decided to keep her first. The ring came from an estate sale. No jeweler, no paper trail. A dead woman's engagement ring sold by grieving children who needed cash more than sentiment. Perfect. Nothing about Daria could be traced. No contracts, no official relationship. His world didn't allow for girlfriends, only liabilities and leverage. She was supposed to be temporary. A distraction. Something warm and soft to come home to between wars. But then, she looked at him like he was a man instead of a weapon, and everything got complicated. 3 years ago. The penthouse was dark except for city lights bleeding through floor-to-ceiling windows. Daria stood at the glass, wearing his shirt and nothing else, watching the world he owned. Romano approached from behind, ring box in his pocket. Heartbeat doing something it hadn't done since childhood. Hesitation. Turn around. She did. He opened the box. Her eyes went wide. Romano, what? Don't speak. His voice came out rougher than intended. Just listen. She pressed her lips together. This ring doesn't leave this penthouse. You wear it here. Only here. No one else sees it. No one else knows. Confusion flickered across her face. Why? Because the moment my enemies know you matter, you become a target. The moment my allies know I have something I care about, you become a weakness. Then why give it to me at all? Good question. He didn't have a good answer. Because I need you to understand. He took her left hand, held it between them like an offering. You're not my girlfriend, Daria. You're not temporary anymore. You're mine. This, he slid the ring onto her finger, is proof. Of what? That if you try to leave, I'll find you. Silence. Then softly, that's not romantic. No. He pulled her close, felt her heartbeat against his chest. It's honest. She should have taken the ring off, thrown it at him. Run. Instead, she kissed him, hard and desperate and doomed. And the ring stayed. Romano crosses the ballroom floor with the patience of an apex predator. People move without realizing. Instinct recognizes danger even when logic sleeps. Daria sees him coming. Her date, the forgettable man in gray, notices her posture change. You okay? Graysuit asks. She doesn't answer. Romano stops 3 feet away. Close enough to smell her perfume. Different now. Expensive, chosen to erase memory. It doesn't work. Daria. He doesn't acknowledge the other man. We need to talk. Graysuit straightens. I'm sorry. Do you too? Leave. Romano's eyes don't move from her face. Excuse me? He said leave. Daria's voice is steady, too steady. It's fine, Marcus. I'll find you in a minute. Marcus hesitates, credit to him, then reads the room and retreats. Smart man. Now it's just them. And the ring. Romano's gaze drops to her hand. You wore it in public. It's my ring. No. His voice goes soft, lethal. It's mine. You're just borrowing the finger it sits on. Her chin lifts. I don't belong to you anymore. Then why are you still wearing proof that you do? She has no answer for that. He steps closer, into her space, past appropriate, close enough that anyone watching would assume intimacy. His hand rises, slow and deliberate, and catches her left wrist. His thumb presses against her pulse, racing. Your body remembers, he murmurs, even if your mouth lies. Let go. No. Romano. Why? The question comes out jagged, raw. Why bring it out of hiding? Why wear it here in my city at a gala full of people who'd kill to know my weaknesses? Her eyes flash. Maybe I wanted you to see it. Why? Because... She stops, regroups. Because I'm not afraid of you anymore. He smiles. It's not kind. Yes, you are. His grip tightens, not enough to hurt, just enough to remind. You're terrified. That's why you brought a date. That's why you wore the ring where I'd see it. You wanted to prove you moved on. I did move on. Then take it off. Silence stretches like a blade. Right now, Romano continues. Take off my ring, hand it to me, and walk away. Her hand trembles in his grip. Can't do it, can you? His voice drops to a whisper. Because deep down, Tesoro, you know the truth. That ring isn't jewelry, it's a collar. And you wore it into public because part of you wanted me to see. Part of you wanted me to come claim what's mine. You're insane. Maybe. He releases her wrist, steps back. But you're still wearing my ring. He turns and walks away. Doesn't look back. Behind him, Daria stands frozen, left hand clenched into a fist, diamond cutting into her palm. The ring burns. Some marks don't wash off. Romano doesn't go home that night. Home is a penthouse with too many windows and not enough answers. Instead, he drives. No destination, no plan. Just leather seats and silence, and the ghost of her perfume still clinging to his jacket from when he stood too close. She wore the ring in public. The thought loops like a broken record. 3 years of silence. 3 years of convincing himself she was gone, really gone, and she walks back into a city wearing his claim like a weapon. Luca calls twice. Romano ignores both. At 2 a.m., he parks outside a closed cafe in a neighborhood, that doesn't ask questions. The kind of place where bullet holes in brick are considered decoration. He pulls the burner phone from his glove compartment. Only 3 people have this number. He calls the first. Find her. His voice is flat, empty. I want to know where she's staying, who she's meeting, what she eats for breakfast. Everything. Boss, are you sure? Everything. He hangs up. Then he sits in the dark and does something he hasn't done in 3 years. He remembers. The memory he keeps locked. Not the night he gave her the ring. Not the night she left. The night between. The night she asked the question he couldn't answer. If I stayed, would you ever let me go? They were in bed. His penthouse, his world, and she'd turned to face him with eyes that already knew the truth. He'd kissed her instead of answering, because the answer was no. He would never let her go. Not willingly, not without blood. She understood. He saw it in the way her body went still, in the way she kissed him back like goodbye. She was already planning her escape. He just didn't want to see it. The phone buzzes. A text from his informant. Found her. Ritz-Carlton. Suite 1407. Checked in 4 days ago. Alone. Alone. So the man in the gray suit isn't staying with her. Good. Less complicated when Romano shows up at her door. And he will show up. Not tonight. Tonight he'll let her think she's safe. Let her believe that walking away from him in a crowded ballroom means she won. But tomorrow she'll learn what happens when you wear a wolf's collar in public. Tomorrow she'll remember why she spent 3 years running. Because men like Romano don't lose. They just wait. Romano starts the car. Drives toward the Ritz-Carlton. Not to go inside. Just to park across the street and look up at the 14th floor, where a single light burns behind expensive curtains. She's awake. Of course she is. She's thinking about him too. The ring on her finger. The threat in his voice. The way his thumb pressed against her pulse and felt her heart betray her. You're still mine, Daria. You just don't want to admit it yet. He watches the light until it goes dark. Then he drives home. Tomorrow, the war begins. If you've ever had someone watch you from a distance, someone who knew exactly where you were but didn't make a move yet, you understand this kind of fear. The waiting, the knowing that contact is inevitable. Romano isn't done. He's just getting started. Subscribe now because what comes next is when he stops watching and starts claiming. Comment if you think Daria should run or face him. Either way, she's already out of time. Hit subscribe. Some stories don't give you a choice. Daria doesn't sleep. How could she? The ring sits on the nightstand, finally removed, finally separate from her body, but it might as well still be on her finger. She can feel it. The weight, The heat, the accusation. You wore me in public, you know what that means. The hotel suite is beautiful, marble bathroom, king bed with sheets that cost more than her first car, view of the city that never stops moving. But beauty doesn't equal safety. Not in Romano City. She paces, checks her phone. No messages. That's worse than threats. Romano doesn't need to text. His silence is the message. I know where you are. At 3 a.m., she makes the mistake of looking at the ring again. It sits on white marble, catching the ambient light from the city below. Still beautiful. Still deadly. She picks it up, holds it between her thumb and forefinger like evidence. Why didn't I leave this behind? She knows the answer. Same reason she came back to the city after 3 years of hiding in places where no one knew her name. Because running didn't work. You can't outrun memory. You can't outrun yourself. And you definitely can't outrun Romano Arcuri. 4 hours later, the knock on her door comes at 7 a.m. Sharp, precise, 3 times. Daria's heart stops. She knows that knock. Measured, controlled. The knock of a man who doesn't ask permission. He announces arrival. She considers not answering. Considers calling hotel security. Considers climbing out the window. Instead, she walks to the door and looks through the peephole. Romano stands in the hallway wearing a black suit that probably costs more than the hotel suite. His expression is carved from stone, patient, inevitable. He's not holding a weapon. He doesn't need one. Daria opens the door, doesn't speak, just stands there in the hotel robe she threw on. Hair still wet from a shower that didn't wash away anything that mattered. You look tired, Romano says. What do you want? Invite me in. No. His mouth curves, not quite a smile. Daria, we can do this in the hallway where your neighbors hear every word, or we can do this like adults. Your choice. She steps aside. He walks in like he owns the place. Maybe he does. Men like Romano own things without paperwork. He moves through the suite, checking windows, noting exits, cataloging details with the practiced efficiency of someone who survives by staying aware. Finally, he turns to face her. Why did you come back? That's none of your... Why did you come back to my city, Daria? His voice doesn't rise. It doesn't need to. After 3 years of silence, 3 years of hiding, you come back and wear my ring in public at a gala you knew I'd attend. I didn't know you'd be there. Liar. The word lands like a slap. You researched the guest list, he continues. You planned this, the dress, the date, the ring on full display. You wanted me to see... You're paranoid. No. He steps closer. I'm informed. There's a difference. She holds her ground. Barely. That ring was supposed to stay private, Romano says quietly. That was the agreement. You wear it behind closed doors where my enemies can't use it against me. Against us. There is no us. Then why are you still wearing it? I'm not. I took it off. After I saw it, his eyes bore into hers. After you made sure I knew. You wore my ring in public, Daria. Do you understand what that means in my world? She doesn't answer. It means you're claiming me as much as I claimed you. It means every rival who wants to hurt me now knows exactly how to do it. It means... His voice drops to something dangerous. You just painted a target on your own back. Fear flickers across her face. Good. She should be afraid. That man you brought, Romano continues. Marcus, investment banker, divorced, 2 kids he sees every other weekend. He proposed to you last week. Her face goes pale. You said no, Romano adds. But you didn't tell him why. Didn't tell him about me, about the ring, about the fact that you're still in love with a monster. I'm not. Yes, you are. He moves closer, backing her toward the window. That's why you came back. Not for work, not for closure. You came back because 3 years wasn't enough time to forget. And you wore my ring in public because you wanted to see if I still cared. That's not... I do. The confession comes out raw, jagged. I care so much it's going to get us both killed if you don't leave. Right now. Today. Silence crashes between them. You're telling me to leave? Her voice shakes. I'm telling you to run. His hand rises, stops inches from her face. Because if you stay, I won't be able to stop myself from keeping you. And keeping you means owning you. And owning you means you'll never be safe again. Her breath hitches. Is that what you want, Daria? To belong to me again? Because that ring on your finger isn't a promise. It's a prison sentence. She should say no. Should push him away. Should remember the blood on marble and the bodies in black plastic. Instead, she whispers, what if I'm tired of being safe? Wrong answer. Romano's control fractures. His hand tangles in her wet hair, pulls her close. His mouth hovers over hers, not kissing, not yet, just breathing the same air. Then God help us both, he murmurs, and kisses her like the world is ending. Maybe it is. If you've ever wanted something you knew would destroy you and wanted it anyway, you're watching Daria make the choice you're too smart to make. Or maybe you already made it. Subscribe before what comes. This isn't a love story. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when desire becomes stronger than survival. Comment the worst choice you ever made for love. We're all guilty here. Hit subscribe. You won't forgive yourself if you miss what happens next. The kiss doesn't end. It consumes. Romano's hand tightens in her hair, tilting her head back as his mouth claims hers with 3 years of hunger compressed into seconds. Daria's hands find his chest, not to push away, but to hold on. This is a mistake. She knows it. He knows it. Neither of them stops. When they finally break apart, both breathing hard, Romano's forehead rests against hers. This does not change anything, he says. I know. You should still leave. I know that too. But she doesn't move, and he doesn't let go. 3 years ago, the penthouse stretched around them like a kingdom made of glass and steel. Daria stood at the window, wearing nothing but Romano's dress shirt, watching the city lights blur in the rain. She didn't hear him approach. Didn't realize he was there until his reflection appeared in the glass behind her. Solid, certain, holding something small in his hand. Turn around. She did. He opened a ring box. The diamond caught the light like a captured piece of the city itself. Her breath stopped. Romano, what is this? Don't speak. His voice came out rougher than usual, almost uncertain. Just listen. She pressed her lips together, waited. This ring doesn't leave this penthouse, he said. You wear it here, only here. No one else sees it, no one else knows. Confusion flickered across her face. I don't understand. Because the moment my enemies know you matter, you become a target. He took her left hand, held it between them like an offering. The moment my allies know I have something I care about, you become leverage. A weakness they'll exploit. Then why give it to me at all? The question hung between them. For a moment she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, because I need you to understand what you are to me. And what am I? He slid the ring onto her finger. Perfect fit because he'd measured while she slept. Of course he had. You're not my girlfriend, Daria. You're not temporary anymore. You're mine. This, he touched the ring, is proof. Proof of what? His eyes met hers. Dark, honest, terrifying. That if you try to leave, I'll find you. The words should have sounded romantic. They didn't. They sounded like a promise and a threat wrapped in velvet. That's not love, she whispered. No. He pulled her close, wrapped his arms around her like chains disguised as comfort. It's not love. Love is soft, gentle, safe. What we have is possession, obsession, the kind of thing that burns everything to ash and calls it devotion. She should have taken the ring off, thrown it at him, run while she still could. Instead, she looked up at him, This beautiful, dangerous man who'd walked into her life and rewritten every rule she thought she understood. Say it, he murmured against her throat. Say you're mine. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Every survival instinct screamed at her to lie, to placate him, to agree and plan her escape later. But something else, something darker, something she didn't want to acknowledge, whispered a different truth. You don't want to escape. You want to surrender. I'm yours, she said, and meant it. Romano's arms tightened around her. Not painful, just absolute. Don't ever take this ring off, he said. Not in this penthouse. Not when we're alone. I need to see it on your finger and know that you chose this. That you chose me. Even though you're a monster? His laugh was dark. Yes. Even though I'm a monster. Maybe because I'm a monster. You've always had a taste for dangerous things, Tesoro. That's why you didn't run the first time you saw blood on my hands. She flinched. Not at the reminder. At the accuracy. He was right. She'd seen the violence, heard the rumors, understood exactly what kind of man Romano Arcuri was. And she'd stayed anyway. Not because she was naive, but because some part of her, the part she buried under marketing degrees and professional ambition, craved exactly this. The danger, the intensity, the feeling of being so completely owned that nothing else mattered. I love you, she whispered. Wrong thing to say. His whole body went rigid. Don't. But don't confuse this with love, Daria. He pulled back just enough to look at her. Love implies choice, freedom, the ability to walk away. What we have doesn't allow for any of that. Then what is it? Inevitability. The word landed like a stone in deep water. He kissed her then, slow, thorough, claiming, and carried her to bed. The ring stayed on her finger all night. She never took it off. Not once in the 8 months that followed. Not when she started noticing the blood. Not when she started hearing the screams. Not even when she started planning her escape. Some chains feel like freedom until you try to move. Romano steps back, puts space between them. His hand runs through his hair, the only sign of his fractured control. You still have it, he says quietly. Daria follows his gaze to the nightstand. The ring sits there on white marble, accusing both of them. I tried to throw it away, she admits. Twice. I'd stand at the river with it in my hand, ready to let go. And I couldn't. Why? Because it was the only proof I had. Proof of what? She looks at him, really looks at him. 3 years of distance. 3 years of becoming someone new. And he still looks at her the same way. Like possession. Proof that I survived you, she says. The words hit him like bullets. His jaw clenches. Is that what you tell yourself? That you survived? Didn't I? No, Tesoro. He moves back toward her, slow, deliberate, inevitable. You escaped. There's a difference. Survival means you were strong enough to endure. Escape means you ran before the end. What end? The one where I make you so completely mine that you forget you were ever anyone else. Her breath catches. That's what you were afraid of, wasn't it? Romano continues. Not the violence, not the blood. You were afraid of how much you wanted to surrender, how much you wanted me to own you so completely that nothing else existed. He's right. God, he's right. I couldn't live like that, she whispers. I know. His hand cups her face, gentle now, almost tender. That's why I'm telling you to leave. Again. Before it's too late. Before I stop being strong enough to let you go. And if I don't want to leave? Wrong question. His eyes darken. Then you'll wear my ring again, he says. Not hidden, not private. You'll wear it in public and accept everything that comes with it. The danger, the violence, the fact that my enemies will use you to hurt me, the fact that I'll do unspeakable things to protect you. Romano. That's the choice, Daria. Leave now and live. or stay and become exactly what that ring represents. Which is? Mine. If you've ever stood at the edge of a choice that would change everything, knowing one path leads to safety and the other leads to absolute destruction, you understand what Daria is facing right now. Subscribe before this moment, because this is where she decides, and whatever she chooses, there's no coming back from it. Comment: would you choose safety or surrender? Be honest, we're all lying to ourselves here. Hit subscribe. Some choices don't wait for courage. Daria doesn't answer. Can't answer. Because the answer terrifies her more than Romano ever could. She wants to stay. After 3 years of running, 3 years of building a new life in a new city with a new name whispered in boardrooms where no one knows what she survived. She wants to walk back into the fire. Romano sees it. Of course he does. He's always been able to read her better than she reads herself. You're not ready, he says quietly. Ready for what? To admit what you want. He steps back, creates distance. So I'll make this easier for you. He pulls something from his jacket pocket. A phone. Not his regular one, a burner. He sets it on the table between them. This phone has one number programmed into it, mine. If you decide to stay, if you decide you want this life, this risk, this version of us, you call me. I'll come get you. We'll do this the right way. What's the right way? Public and permanent. No more hiding. You'll wear my ring where everyone can see it. You'll stand beside me at events. You'll become the weakness my enemies have been waiting for. And I'll become the monster who'd burn the world to keep you safe. Her heart hammers. And if I don't call, pain flickers out across his face. Brief, almost invisible. Then you leave the city, tonight, and you never come back. Romano? Those are the only options, Daria. All in or all out. I can't do halfway anymore. 3 years of wondering if you're alive, if you're safe, if you're thinking about me. It nearly destroyed me. I won't survive it again. The confession hangs between them. Raw, honest, devastating. How long do I have? She asks. 24 hours. He moves toward the door. After that, I make the choice for you. Which choice? He looks back at her. Eyes dark, expression unreadable. I send you away, permanently. Somewhere even I can't find you. Because if I see you again after tomorrow and you haven't called, I won't be able to stop myself from keeping you. And keeping you against your will makes me the monster you ran from. He opens the door. Pauses. For what it's worth, Tesoro. I understand why you ran. I've never blamed you. Not once. You saw what I am and you chose yourself. That took more courage than staying ever would have. Romano. 24 hours, Daria. Choose wisely. He walks out. The door closes with a soft click. Daria stands frozen in the middle of the hotel suite, staring at the burner phone on the table. One number. One choice. Safety or surrender. 12 hours later. Daria hasn't touched the phone. Hasn't called. Hasn't left. She sits at the window watching the city wake up. The same city where she fell in love with a monster. The same city she swore she'd never return to. The ring sits on the table beside the burner phone. 2 objects. Both weapons. Both promises. Her phone. Her real phone buzzes. A text from Marcus. Dinner tonight? I know you said you needed space, but I miss you. Sweet Marcus. Safe Marcus. Marcus who proposed with a ring from Tiffany's and a future that included suburban houses and children's birthday parties and absolutely 0 chance of witnessing a murder. She should say yes. Should choose the life that makes sense. But her hand reaches for the other phone instead. The burner. Her finger hovers over the call button. 1 press. That's all it takes. 1 press and Romano comes for her. 1 press and she stops running. 1 press and she becomes exactly what she swore she'd never be again. His? Her hand trembles. Romano hasn't slept. Can't sleep. He sits in his office. The same office where Daria once caught him wiping blood from a knife, and stares at his phone. Silent. Mocking. Luca enters without knocking. Boss, we have a situation. Unless someone's dead, I don't care. It's about the girl. Romano's head snaps up. What about her? Marcus Kellerman, the investment banker she brought to the gala. He just bought an engagement ring, 3 carats, platinum band. He's planning to propose again. Ice floods Romano's veins. When? Tonight, he made reservations at Marcello's, 8 p.m. The same restaurant where Romano first kissed Daria. Of course. She hasn't called, Luca says carefully. Maybe She hasn't chosen anything yet. Romano stands. She has 11 hours left. And if she doesn't call? Romano's jaw clenches. Then I keep my word. I let her go. Boss. I let her go, Luca, because that's what you do when you love someone. You give them the choice, even when the choice destroys you. Luca nods. Doesn't believe him. Romano doesn't believe himself either. Because if Daria walks into that restaurant tonight and says yes to Marcus, if she chooses safety over surrender, Romano isn't sure he'll survive it. Some losses are fatal even when you're still breathing. If you've ever had to choose between the person who made sense and the person who made you feel, you already know there's no right answer. Only consequences. Daria has 11 hours to decide, and whatever she chooses, someone's heart stops beating. Subscribe now, because that's when the timer runs out. Comment who you think she should choose, but be honest. We both know logic doesn't win this fight. Hit subscribe. You need to see how this ends, even if it destroys you. 7 hours left. Daria still hasn't called. Romano knows because he's stared at his phone for the past 5 hours straight. No calls, no texts, no choice. At 6 p.m. he makes a decision. He's going to that restaurant. Not to interfere, not to stop her, just to see. To witness the moment she chooses someone else. To watch her say yes to a man who'll never understand the darkness in her. The part of her that craved a monster's touch. Closure, he tells himself. Torture, his heart corrects. Blood on marble. So much blood it looked black in the dim office lighting. Daria stood frozen in the doorway, briefcase still in her hand, heels clicking to a stop on the threshold between ignorance and truth. Romano knelt beside a body, not standing over it in victory, kneeling, like prayer, like penance. His hands, those same hands that had traced her skin hours earlier, were red to the wrists. A knife sat on his desk. Clean now, wiped with the kind of casual precision that comes from practice. Too much practice. Daria. He looked up, no surprise in his voice, like he'd been expecting her. You shouldn't be here. She couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't process what she was seeing. Romano stood slowly, gracefully, like violence hadn't just happened. Who is he? Her voice came out broken. No one who matters. He's dead, Romano. Yes. He walked to the bar, poured whiskey like he'd just finished a conference call instead of a murder. He tried to betray the family. I removed the problem. Removed the problem. Like the man on his floor was a typo, an error, something easily corrected. You killed him. I protected what's mine. He downed the whiskey in one swallow. That includes you. The words should have sounded romantic. They sounded insane. By becoming a monster? Something flickered in his eyes. Hurt. Maybe anger. Gone too fast to name. I've always been a monster, Tesoro. He set the glass down with careful control. You just chose not to see it. The suits, the penthouses, the charity galas, their costumes. Underneath, I'm exactly what I've always been. A wolf. Then I can't... Her voice cracked. I can't do this. Can't or won't. Both. The silence that followed felt like drowning. Romano's knuckles whitened around the glass. If you walk out that door, Daria, you don't come back. I know. I won't chase you. I know that, too. Lies. They were both lying. She could see it in the way his jaw clenched, in the way his hand shook as he poured another drink. He would chase her. Of course he would. Men like Romano don't let go. They possess. They claim. They own. But in that moment, standing in a room that smelled like copper and expensive cologne, Daria made a choice. Self-preservation over love. Survival over surrender. She turned. Walked. Kept walking even when she heard glass shatter behind her. Even when she heard him say her name. Once. Broken. A sound she'd never heard from him before. Pain. She walked out of the penthouse. Out of his building. Out of his life. The ring stayed on her finger. She told herself it was because she was too shaken to think clearly. The truth was simpler. She couldn't let go. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Romano sits in his car across the street. 7:47 p.m. Marcus arrives first. Nervous, excited. The ring box makes a visible bulge in his jacket pocket. Amateur. At 7:52, a car pulls up. Daria steps out. She's wearing red. The same shade she wore the first night Romano kissed her. Coincidence? Or message? She looks different than she did this morning. Composed. Decided. Like she's made peace with whatever choice she's carrying. Romano's chest tightens. This is it. The moment he loses her. Really loses her. Not to distance or fear or time, but to another man. To safety. To the life she deserves. He watches Marcus stand when she enters the restaurant. Watches him pull out her chair. Watches him smile at her with uncomplicated affection. That should be me. But it's not. It can't be. Because men like Romano don't get happy endings. They get consequences. His phone sits on the passenger seat. Silent. She had 7 hours to call. She chose silence. Message received. Romano starts the car. He should leave. Should keep his word. Should let her have this normal, safe, blood-free life with a man who's never had to wipe murder from his hands. But he can't move. Can't look away. Not yet. Daria sits across from Marcus and feels nothing. He's talking. Smiling. Reaching across the table to take her hand. She lets him. It feels wrong. Everything feels wrong. I know I proposed before, Marcus says. And I know you said you needed time. But Daria, I can't wait anymore. These past few days without you have been... He stops. Reaches into his pocket. The ring box appears. Tiffany blue. Safe. Predictable. Everything Romano isn't. Daria Fallaci, will you? Her phone vibrates. Once. She shouldn't look. She does. A text from an unknown number. The car outside is yours, if you want it. Her heart stopped. She knows that writing. Clipped, direct, possessive. Romano. He's here. Watching. Waiting. Daria? Marcus's voice pulls her back. Are you okay? No. She's not okay. She's standing at a crossroads with a man kneeling in front of her, holding safety in a blue box. And the monster she loves sitting in the darkness outside, offering nothing but danger and devastation and absolute surrender. Choose. Her hand moves to her purse. Inside, wrapped in tissue, sits Romano's ring. The one she took off this morning. The one she couldn't leave behind. She's been carrying it all day. Just in case. Marcus is still talking. Still smiling. Still waiting for an answer that will break his heart. Marcus, she says quietly. I'm sorry. His smile falters. What? I can't marry you. Is it too fast? Because we can wait. It's not about timing. She pulls her hand back. You're a good man. You deserve someone who can love you the way you deserve. Someone who doesn't. Her voice cracks. Someone who doesn't carry ghosts. Understanding dawns in his eyes, followed by hurt. There's someone else. Not a question. An accusation. She doesn't deny it. Can't deny it. I'm sorry, she says again. She stands. Marcus doesn't stop her. Just watches as she walks away, out of the restaurant, out of safety, out of the normal life she could have had. The black car sits at the curb, engine running, back door open. An invitation. A trap. Both. Daria stands on the sidewalk. One choice. Safety behind her. Destruction ahead. She thinks about the past 3 years. The running. The hiding. The pretending to be someone she's not. The exhaustion of building a life on a foundation of lies. I'm tired of running. She gets in the car. If you've ever chosen the thing that would destroy you just because safety felt like slow death, you understand what Daria just did. She didn't choose love. She chose truth. The most dangerous truth, that some people are only alive when they're burning. Subscribe now because this is where Romano collects what she just promised. And collection always costs blood. Comment if you would have gotten in that car. We both know you're lying if you say no. Hit subscribe. This isn't ending well. You need to witness it anyway. The car doesn't take her to the penthouse. It takes her somewhere worse. Somewhere private. A warehouse on the edge of the city where the streetlights don't reach, and the only sound is rain on metal roofing. Daria's pulse hammers as the car stops. The door opens. Romano stands in the rain. No umbrella. No jacket. Just him and the storm, and 3 years of unanswered questions. You came, he says. You knew I would. No. He steps closer. I hoped. There's a difference. She gets out of the car. Rain soaks through her red dress immediately. She doesn't care. Why here? She asks. Because this is where it started. His hand gestures to the warehouse. 4 years ago. You came to this building for a consultation. I kissed you in the rain. You didn't run. She remembers. Of course she remembers. I should have run, she says. Yes. His hand rises, stops inches from her face. You should have. But you didn't. And now here we are. Again, same place, same rain, same impossible choice. What choice? Whether you mean it this time. Her breath catches. Mean what? That you're mine. He closes the distance between them. You got in my car. You walked away from safety. You're standing in the rain with a monster. But I need to hear you say it. Not because I claimed you. Because you choose it. Romano. Say it, Daria. Say you're mine. Say you choose this. The danger, the violence, the fact that loving me might get you killed. Say it and mean it. Or walk away right now and I'll let you go. Really let you go this time. The rain pounds harder. She looks at him. Really looks at him. 3 years older. Harder. More dangerous. Still the only man who's ever made her feel alive. I'm yours, she whispers. Louder. I'm yours. Again. I'm yours, Romano. I choose this. I choose you. I choose the darkness and the danger and whatever consequences come with it. Something breaks in his expression. Relief. Possession. Love. He kisses her like the world is ending. Maybe it is. But at least they'll burn together. They're still wet from the rain. Still breathless from the kiss that didn't end until they reached his building. Romano hands her a towel. She doesn't take it. Just stands in his living room. The same living room she fled from 3 years ago. And stares at the space where blood used to be. It's gone now. Cleaned. Like it never happened. But they both know better. I need to tell you something, Romano says. His voice is different. Serious. Almost afraid. What? The night you left. The man you saw me kill. She goes still. What about him? He wasn't betraying the family. Romano's jaw clenches. He was threatening you. He'd found out about us. About the ring. He was going to use you to get to me. The air leaves her lungs. So I killed him, Romano continues. Not for the family. For you. I killed him because he knew your name. Because he'd followed you home. Because he was going to hurt you to hurt me. Daria's hand flies to her mouth. You never told me. Because I didn't want you to feel responsible. I didn't want you to know that loving me had already painted a target on your back. His eyes meet hers. But you need to know now. Before you make this choice permanent. Loving me comes with blood, Daria. Not someday, not eventually. It already has, and it will again. She should be horrified, should run, should choose safety while she still can. Instead, she closes the distance between them, takes his face in her hands. Then we'll deal with the blood, she says, together. Wrong answer. Right answer. Only answer. Romano's arms wrap around her, tight, absolute, claiming. You're sure? He murmurs against her hair. No. Honest, raw. But I'm done pretending I can live without you. That's not the same as wanting me. I know. She pulls back just enough to look at him. But wanting you was never the problem. The problem was wanting myself more. And now? Now I'm choosing both. His eyes search hers, looking for doubt, for fear, for any sign she'll run again. He doesn't find it. Because this time, she's not running. This time, she's surrendering. Romano's hand moves to his pocket, pulls out the ring. His ring. The one she returned this morning. Last chance, he says quietly. I put this on your finger again. It doesn't come off. Not for safety, not for fear, not ever. You become mine, publicly, permanently, irrevocably. My enemies will know. My allies will know. Everyone will know that hurting you is the fastest way to die. I know. And you still want this. I want you. He slides the ring onto her finger. Third time. Final time. It fits perfectly. It always has. You're mine now, he says. Not a question. A statement. A fact. I know, she whispers, and kisses him like she means it. Because she does. If you've ever stopped fighting what you knew would consume you, if you've ever chosen the fire because the cold was killing you slower, you just watched yourself in Daria. She didn't choose safety. She chose self, the version of herself that only exists when she's burning. Subscribe, because this is when the world finds out. And when Romano's enemies learn he has a weakness, they'll come for her with everything they have. Comment one word. The thing you chose even though you knew it would destroy you. Hit subscribe. Destruction is just getting started. The morning after changes everything. Not because anything happened, but because everything didn't. Daria wakes in Romano's bed, their bed now, and for the first time in 3 years, the weight on her finger does not feel like a lie. It feels like a brand. His brand. Romano is already awake, standing at the window in nothing but black pants, coffee in hand, watching the city wake up like a king surveying his kingdom. He doesn't turn when she sits up. Doesn't need to. He already knows she's awake. We go public today, he says. Not a question. A statement. Daria's stomach tightens. Already? The longer we wait, the more dangerous it becomes. He turns to face her. My enemies are already asking questions. Why I left the gala early. Why I was at Marcello's last night. Why Marcus Kellerman is telling anyone who'll listen that you rejected him for someone else. Romano. They'll find out, Tesoro. Better they hear it from us. Better they see you standing beside me, wearing my ring, and understand exactly what it means to come after you. What it means. Death. Violence. Consequences written in blood. I'm not ready, she whispers. Yes, you are. He crosses to the bed, sits beside her, takes her left hand and traces the ring with his thumb. You chose this. Last night, in the rain, you said you were mine. Did you mean it? Yes. Then be mine publicly. Let the world see. Fear crawls up her throat. Not fear of him. Fear of what loving him means. Targets, violence, death. What if I can't do this? The confession breaks out of her. What if I'm not strong enough to be what you need? To survive in your world? Romano's expression softens. Almost tender. You already survived it once, he says quietly. You walked away from me 3 years ago when every instinct told you to stay. You built a new life from nothing. You became someone new. That takes strength most people don't have. That was different. That was running. No, Tesoro. That was surviving. His hand cups her face. And now you're choosing to live. There's a difference. Survival is reactive. Living is a choice. You're choosing me. Choosing this life. Choosing to stop hiding. Tears burn her eyes. I'm scared. Good. He pulls her close. Fear keeps you sharp, keeps you alive. I need you scared. Just not scared enough to run. I won't run, she promises. I know. His lips brush her forehead. Because this time, you know the truth. What truth? That you're not just mine, Daria. I'm yours too. And I'll burn this entire city to ash before I let anyone hurt you. Love is threat. Devotion is violence. Protection as possession. Everything about them is wrong. And she wouldn't change a single thing. Romano doesn't do things halfway. When he decides to go public, he goes public. A charity luncheon at the plaza. 500 guests. Press. Cameras. Every important family in the city. Daria stands in the penthouse bathroom, staring at her reflection. Black dress. Elegant. Expensive. The kind of armor wealthy women wear. The ring catches the light. No hiding now. A knock on the door. It's time, Romano says. She takes one last breath. Opens the door. He's devastating in a charcoal suit, all sharp lines and controlled power. But it's his eyes that destroy her. Pride. He's proud she's doing this. Proud she chose him. Proud she's about to walk into a room full of predators, wearing his claim for everyone to see. You look perfect, he says. I look terrified. That too. He offers his arm. Ready? No. Good. Let's go anyway. The moment they walk in together, the room goes quiet. Not silent. Just aware. Conversations pause mid-sentence. Eyes track their movement. Whispers start. Because everyone knows who Romano Arcuri is. And everyone sees the ring on Daria's finger. His ring. The one that's been missing for 3 years. Smile, Romano murmurs. Let them see you're here by choice. She does. Feels like glass breaking. They make their way through the room, Romano's hand possessive at the small of her back, introducing her to people whose names she'll forget, but whose faces she'll remember. These people are dangerous. Not in the obvious way. In the subtle way. The kind of danger that comes with polite smiles and calculated alliances. Romano. A man approaches, tall, silver-haired, expensive suit. I didn't know you were bringing a guest. Daria, this is Vincent Marchetti. He runs the docks. Romano's voice is pleasant, too pleasant. Vincent, my fiancé, Daria Fallaci. Fiancé. He just called her his fiancé. In public. In front of everyone. Vincent's eyes drop to her ring. Recognition flickers. Congratulations, he says smoothly. I didn't realize you were engaged. Recent development, Romano says. Lie. 3 years ago isn't recent. But Vincent doesn't push. Smart man. Well, she's lovely, Vincent says. You're a lucky man. I know. Vincent moves on. Others approach. Each conversation the same. Polite. Measured. Calculating. Everyone trying to figure out what this means. Who she is. What she's worth. How to use her against him. Daria feels it, the weight of 100 eyes assessing her value. Not as a person, as leverage. Romano's hand tightens at her back. He feels it too. We should, she starts. No. His voice is quiet, firm. We stay, we smile. We show them you're not afraid. But I am afraid. I know, Tesoro, but they don't need to know that. It comes during dessert. A woman approaches their table, mid-40s, beautiful in a cold way. Diamond necklace that probably cost more than a house. Romano, she purrs. It's been too long. Romano's entire body goes rigid. Isabella. The name lands like a knife. Aren't you going to introduce me to your fiancé? Isabella's smile doesn't reach her eyes. Daria, Isabella Russo, she runs. I know who she is, Daria interrupts. Because she does. Isabella Russo, head of the Russo family after her husband's convenient death 5 years ago, rumored to have killed him herself. Dangerous doesn't begin to cover it. How lovely, Isabella says. Romano's told you about me. He mentioned you once, Daria lies smoothly. In passing. Isabella's smile sharpens. I'm sure he did. Her eyes drop to Daria's ring. That's quite a beautiful piece. Vintage, isn't it? Yes. May I? Before Daria can refuse, Isabella takes her hand, studies the ring. Her smile becomes a blade. I had one just like this, Isabella says softly. Years ago, before it was stolen from an estate sale I was planning to attend. Her eyes lift to Romano. Funny how these things resurface, isn't it? Threat. Clear as gunfire. Romano's voice goes deadly soft. Careful, Isabella. Oh, I'm always careful, darling. She releases Daria's hand. It's other people who should be careful. Beautiful things attract such terrible attention, especially when they're connected to powerful men. She walks away. Daria's hand trembles. What just happened? She whispers. Romano's jaw clenches. She just declared war. If you've ever realized too late that choosing love also meant choosing everyone who wants to destroy it, welcome to Daria's nightmare. She chose Romano, but Romano comes with enemies. And those enemies just found their weakness. Subscribe now, because this is when the first attack comes. And it's not going to be clean. Comment if you think Daria made the right choice. Because in 24 hours, she's going to wonder the same thing. Hit subscribe. War just started. You need to see who survives. They don't go home after the luncheon. Romano takes her somewhere else. A building she doesn't recognize. Industrial. Anonymous. The kind of place where screams don't carry. Where are we? Daria asks as the car stops. Somewhere safe. Romano gets out, opens her door. Come on. She follows him inside. The building is empty except for one room. He opens the door. Inside, guns, ammunition, body armor. An armory. What is this? Her voice barely works. Insurance. Romano moves to a wall safe, opens it, pulls out a handgun. Isabella wasn't bluffing. She's coming for you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. Romano? So you're going to learn how to protect yourself. He turns to face her. I can't be with you every second. I can't stop every threat. But I can make sure that if someone comes for you, you have a fighting chance. He holds out the gun. She stares at it. I can't. Yes, you can. His voice is gentle, firm. You chose this life, Tesoro. This is part of it. Learning to survive in a world that wants to use you to hurt me. Her hands shake as she takes the weapon. It's heavier than she expected. Colder. More real. I don't know how. I'll teach you. He moves behind her, adjusts her grip, his hands over hers, his body against her back. Safety off. Aim. Breathe. Squeeze. The gun fires. The recoil jolts through her. The target across the room gets a hole in the shoulder. Again, Romano says. They spend 2 hours in that room, shooting, reloading, learning the weight of violence in her hands. By the time they're done, Daria's ears are ringing and her hands smell like gunpowder. But she can hit center mass 7 times out of 10. Good enough to survive. Maybe. That night, Daria can't sleep. She lies in Romano's arms, staring at the ceiling, feeling the unfamiliar weight of the gun in the nightstand drawer. Talk to me, Romano murmurs. I killed someone today. No, you didn't. I practiced killing someone. I put holes in a target shaped like a human being and you told me good job. That's different. Is it? She turns to face him. In a month, a year, whenever Isabella or someone like her comes for me, will it be different then? When it's a real person and real blood? Romano's hand cups up her face. Yes, he says quietly. It'll be different. It'll be harder. It'll haunt you. But you'll do it anyway, because survival isn't clean to sorrow. It's just necessary. Have you ever regretted it? The violence? Every day. The honesty surprises her. Then why? Because the alternative is watching people I love die. His thumb traces her cheekbone. I can live with blood on my hands. I can't live with your blood on someone else's. Love is justification. Violence as devotion. She kisses him. Not because she agrees, but because she understands. In his world, love doesn't conquer all. Love just raises the body count. 3 days later, the first attack came. It happens at a coffee shop. Broad daylight. Daria is alone. Romano's in a meeting, Luca trailing her from a distance. She orders her usual. Sits by the window. Opens her laptop. Normal. Safe. Wrong. The barista brings her coffee and walks away. Daria takes a sip and tastes almonds. Cyanide. The realization hits the same moment the poison does. Her throat closes. Her vision blurs. The cup falls from her hand, shattering on the floor. People scream. Luca appears, fast, efficient, already on his phone. Boss, we have a problem. Daria can't hear the rest. Can't breathe. Can't think. The world tilts. Goes dark. She wakes to white walls and beeping machines. Romano sits beside her bed. He hasn't shaved. Hasn't slept. His hands are bloody. Not hers. Someone else's. You're awake, he says quietly. What happened? You were poisoned, cyanide in your coffee. Luca got you to the hospital in time. His voice is flat, empty. The barista didn't make it. You killed her. Yes. No hesitation. No regret. She tried to murder you, Daria. She accepted money from Isabella Russo to put poison in your coffee, so I put a bullet in her head. The machines beep. Steady. Mechanical. Unlike her heart, which is breaking. This is my life now, she whispers. Yes. People trying to kill me. You killing them. Blood and violence and... Yes. He leans forward, takes her hand. This is your life now. Our life. And I'm sorry it's not safe or clean or normal, but it's ours. And I'll kill anyone who tries to take you from me. Tears slide down her face. I'm scared. I know. He kisses her knuckles. But you're alive. That's all that matters. Is it? He doesn't answer. Can't answer. Because they both know the truth. This won't be the last attempt. Isabella declared war. And in war, there are no rules. Only casualties. Daria leaves the hospital with a bodyguard detail and a prescription for nightmares. Romano drives her home himself. Silent. Watchful. Guilty. It's not your fault, she says. Yes, it is. His knuckles are white on the steering wheel. I brought you into this world. I put that ring on your finger, knowing it made you a target. Stop. She puts her hand over his. I chose this. Remember, I got in the car. I wore the ring in public. I stayed. This is on me too. You almost died. But I didn't. Next time you might. The words hang between them. Heavy. True. Then we make sure there's no next time, Daria says. We end this. We end Isabella. We end anyone who thinks I'm a weakness they can exploit. Romano looks at her. Really looks at her. You're not scared anymore. Oh, I'm terrified, she says. But I'm also done running. Done hiding. Isabella wanted a war, she gets one. Something shifts in his expression. Pride. Love. Fear. You're sure? No. Honest, raw. But I'm committed anyway. He pulls the car over. Right there, on the side of the road. Kisses her like she's oxygen. You're going to get us both killed, he murmurs against her mouth. Probably, she agrees. I love you. First time he said it. First time he's admitted it out loud. I know, she whispers. I love you too. That's why I'm staying. Wrong reason. Right reason. Only reason. They drive home. Together. Into the fire. If you've ever loved someone enough to fight their battles, even when those battles could kill you, you just watch Daria cross the line between victim and warrior. She's not running anymore. She's hunting. Subscribe because this is when she and Romano stop playing defense and start taking the war to Isabella. And war with the Russo family doesn't end in treaties. It ends in bodies. Comment one word, fight or flight. What would you choose? Hit subscribe. Blood is coming. You need to see whose. Romano doesn't ask permission. 3 days after the poisoning, he makes a decision. Isabella Russo dies tonight. Not eventually. Not when the time is right. Tonight. He tells Daria over breakfast. Casual, direct. Like he's discussing the weather instead of premeditated murder. I'm ending this, he says, setting down his coffee. Isabella crossed the line. She tried to kill you. That doesn't get forgiven. It gets answered. Daria's fork stops halfway to her mouth. You're going to kill her? Yes. When? Tonight. She has a meeting at her estate. Security will be light. I'll have 15 minutes. That's all I need. The certainty in his voice should terrify her. It doesn't. It should, but it doesn't. What do you need from me? She asks. Romano's expression shifts. Surprise. Then something darker. Satisfaction. I need you to stay here. Safe. Behind locked doors with Luca and a security detail. I need to know you're protected while I'm gone. That's it? That's everything. He reaches across the table, takes her hand. I need to know that when I pull the trigger, you're safe. That's the only way I can do this without hesitation. She understands. Of course she understands. He's not just killing Isabella for revenge. He's killing her so Daria can sleep without fear. So she can drink coffee without checking for poison. So she can live. Love is murder. Protection is violence. Okay, she says quietly. Okay? Kill her. The words taste like ash, like truth. End this so we can breathe. Romano's grip tightens on her hand. You're sure? No, she's not sure. She's never been less sure of anything. But she's committed. I'm sure. She lies. He knows she's lying. Doesn't care. He kisses her knuckles and stands. I'll be back by midnight. Romano. He pauses. Be careful, she whispers. His smile is blade sharp. I'm always careful, Tesoro. It's other people who should be worried. He leaves. The penthouse feels too big. Too quiet. Too full of waiting. Daria sits by the window, watching the city, waiting. Luca stands by the door, silent, professional, pretending he doesn't notice her hands shaking. Her phone buzzes. A text from Romano. It's done. Coming home. 3 words. That's all. It's done. Isabella Russo is dead. Romano killed her. For Daria. Because of Daria. She should feel relief. She feels numb. The door opens 20 minutes later. Romano walks in. No blood on his clothes. No visible evidence. But his eyes carry it. The weight of what he just did. It's over, he says quietly. Daria stands. Crosses to him. Doesn't ask how. Doesn't ask if Isabella suffered. Just wraps her arms around him and holds on. He's shaking. Barely. Just enough for her to feel it. You okay? She whispers. No. Honest, raw. But I will be. They stand like that for a long time. 2 people bound by blood that isn't theirs. This is love now. This is what they've become. If you've ever watched someone you love destroy themselves to save you, and didn't stop them because you needed saving, you understand what just happened. Romano killed for Daria, but killing changes people, and the man who comes home isn't always the same man who left. Subscribe now, because this is when Daria realizes the cost of being loved by a monster, and cost always comes due. Comment if you think she made the right choice letting him go, because she's about to wonder the same thing. Hit subscribe. Consequence isn't finished with them yet. The nightmares start 3 days later. Not hers. His. Romano wakes gasping at 3 a.m., reaching for a weapon that isn't there, fighting enemies that only exist in memory. Hey, Daria's voice cuts through the darkness. You're safe. You're home. He doesn't respond. Just sits on the edge of the bed, head in his hands, breathing like he's drowning. This is the 4th night, each one worse than the last. Talk to me, she says quietly. There's nothing to talk about. Romano. I killed someone, Daria. His voice cracks. I walked into Isabella's estate, put a gun to her head, and pulled the trigger. She begged, she offered money, she tried to negotiate, and I killed her anyway. She tried to kill me. I know. He looks at her, eyes haunted. That's the only reason I can sleep at all. But it doesn't change what I did. It does not change that I'm becoming my father, the man I swore I'd never be. The confession breaks something in her, because she made him do this. Not directly, but by staying, by choosing him, by wearing his ring and accepting his protection. She made him a killer. I'm sorry, she whispers. Don't. He stands, paces. Don't apologize for surviving. That's what Isabella wanted, for you to feel guilty for being alive, for us to tear each other apart with guilt and regret. Then what do? We live with it. He stops at the window. We accept that this is who we are now, what we've become. We carry the weight and we don't let it break us. And if it does break us, silence. Then quietly, then we break together. 1 week later, Isabella's death sends shockwaves through the city. No one knows who did it, officially, but everyone knows. Romano Arcuri protects what's his. The other families pull back, reassess, decide that maybe Daria Fallaci isn't worth the cost. The attacks stop. The threats disappear. For the first time since going public, Daria can breathe. But the peace comes with a price. Romano is different now, quieter, more distant, like he's carrying something too heavy to share. She finds him in his office one afternoon, staring at nothing, whiskey untouched on his desk. We need to talk, she says. About what? About the fact that you're pulling away from me. He doesn't deny it. I'm trying to protect you. From what? From me. He finally looks at her. I killed for you, Daria. I'll kill again if I have to. And every time I do, I become a little less human, a little more monster. Eventually, there won't be anything left worth loving. That's not true, isn't it? He stands. Look at me. Really look. I have blood on my hands that will never wash off. I've done things that would make you run if you knew the details, and I'll keep doing them, because that's what it takes to keep you safe in this world. Then we leave, she says desperately. We get out, start over somewhere new, somewhere your enemies can't find us. And go where? His laugh is bitter. There's nowhere I can go that they won't follow, nowhere you'd be safe. This city is my kingdom and my prison. I can't leave it, and you can't stay in it without becoming like me. I don't care. You should. He crosses to her, cups her face. You should care, Tesoro, because I'm watching you change, watching you accept violence as normal, watching you become hard where you used to be soft. And I hate it. I hate that loving me is destroying the best parts of you. Tears burn her eyes. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe your family was right 3 years ago. Maybe you should have stayed gone. The words land like bullets. You don't mean that. Don't I? His hands drop. You almost died, Daria. Poisoned in a coffee shop because someone wanted to hurt me, and my solution was more violence, more death. That's all I know how to do. Destroy things, break things, turn everything I touch into blood and ash. Stop. No. His voice hardens. You need to hear this. You need to understand what you chose. This isn't a romance, Tesoro. It's a tragedy, and tragedies don't have happy endings. She slaps him. Hard. The sound echoes in the quiet office. Romano's head turns with the impact. Does not turn back. I chose you, she says, voice shaking. Not the fantasy, not the lie. You, the man who kills to protect me. The man who has nightmares because he loves me. The man who's so terrified of destroying me that he's trying to push me away. Daria, I'm not leaving. She grabs his face, forces him to look at her. I'm not running. I survived 3 years without you, and it felt like dying slowly. So if staying means becoming hard, becoming dark, becoming someone I don't recognize, fine. I'll become her. Because being without you is worse. That's the trauma talking. No. She kisses him. Hard. Desperate. That's love talking. Messy, complicated, probably unhealthy love. But it's ours. And I'm not letting it go. Romano's control breaks. He kisses her back like the world is ending. Like she's the only thing keeping him alive. Maybe she is. I don't deserve you, he murmurs against her mouth. Probably not. She smiles through tears. But you're stuck with me anyway. Promise. Promise. Days later. The call comes at breakfast. Daria's phone. Her mother. First time in 3 years. She almost doesn't answer. But Romano nods. Answer it. Hello? Daria. Her mother's voice is cold, controlled. We need to talk. About what? About the fact that you're engaged to a criminal. About the fact that your name is in the papers connected to a murder investigation. About the fact that you've destroyed this family's reputation. There it is. The real reason for the call. Not concern. Reputation. I'm happy. Mom. Happy? Her mother laughs. Sharp, bitter. You call this happy? Living with a man who kills people? Who has enemies that try to poison you? This is insanity, Daria. Maybe. She looks at Romano across the table. But it's my insanity. Your father wants you to come home. Tonight, we'll fix this. Get the engagement annulled. Find you a therapist. No. Silence. Excuse me? I said no. Daria's voice steadens. I'm not coming home. I'm not annulling anything. I'm staying with Romano. And if that means you cut me off, disown me, pretend I don't exist, then that's your choice. You're choosing him over your family? I'm choosing myself. The truth lands clean, clear. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing what I want, not what's safe, not what looks good, what I want. And I want him. Then you're no daughter of mine. The line goes dead. Daria sets the phone down. Her hands shake. Romano reaches across the table. Takes her hand. You okay? No. Tears slide down her face, but I will be. You can still change your mind. Call her back, I'll understand. Don't. She squeezes his hand. Don't give me an out. I don't want one. You just lost your family. No, she meets his eyes. I just chose a different one. If you've ever had to choose between the family you were born into and the person who makes you feel alive, you just watched Daria burn that bridge. Some choices cost everything, and she just paid the price. Subscribe, because this is when Daria realizes what she gave up. And grief doesn't wait for convenient moments. Comment. Have you ever had to choose between family and love? Who did you pick? Hit subscribe. The hardest part is just beginning. The silence after her mother hangs up is deafening. Daria sits at the breakfast table, phone still in her hand, staring at nothing. Romano doesn't move, doesn't speak, just watches her process what just happened. She lost her family, not to death. To choice. Somehow that feels worse. Say something, Romano finally says. What is there to say? Her voice sounds hollow, distant. I chose you. They chose their reputation. It's done. Daria. It's done, Romano. She sets the phone down with careful precision. I made my choice. I don't get to be sad about it now. But she is sad. She's devastated. and trying desperately not to show it. Romano stands, crosses to her, kneels beside her chair so they're eye level. "You're allowed to grieve," he says quietly. "Grieve what? A family that only loved me when I was convenient? When I made the right choices and dated the right men and didn't embarrass them? They're still your family." "No." She looks at him, eyes dry but breaking. "You're my family now. You and whatever life we build together. They made their choice. I made mine." She stands, walks to the window, stares out at the city that's become her home and her prison. "I don't regret it," she says. "Choosing you. I need you to know that. Even if it costs me everything, I don't regret it." Romano moves behind her, doesn't touch her, just stands close enough that she can feel his presence. "You shouldn't have to choose," he says. "But I did." She turns to face him. "And I'd do it again, every time, in every lifetime. I'd choose you." Wrong thing to say. Right thing to say. Only thing to say. Because it's true. She would choose him. Over safety. Over family. Over the version of herself that made sense. She'd choose the chaos and the danger and the man who kills to keep her alive. Every single time. The grief hits in waves. Not constant. Just sudden. Unexpected moments where Daria realizes she can't call her mother. Can't share good news with her father. Can't attend family dinners or holidays or weddings. She's been erased. Cut out like a cancer. And it shouldn't hurt this much. But it does. Romano notices. Of course he notices. He finds her crying in the bathroom one night, mascara running, trying to be quiet so he won't hear him. He hears anyway. "Come here," he says softly. She goes, lets him hold her while she breaks. "I'm sorry," he murmurs into her hair. "I'm so sorry." "It's not your fault." "Yes, it is." His arms tighten. "They're right. You'd be better off without me. Safer, happier. Your family wouldn't hate you. You wouldn't be..." "Stop." She pulls back, looks at him. "Don't do that. Don't make this about you being a monster. My family didn't cut me off because you're dangerous. They cut me off because I chose myself for once, because I refused to be who they wanted me to be. You chose me. I chose us." She wipes her eyes. "There's a difference. I'm not some victim you corrupted, Romano. I'm a woman who looked at her options and decided that a life with you, messy and dangerous and complicated, was better than a life without you that looked perfect on paper." He searches her face, looking for regret, for doubt. He doesn't find it. "I love you," he says. "I know." She kisses him, soft, sure. "I love you too, even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts," he corrects. "Because love that doesn't cost anything isn't real. It's just convenience dressed as devotion." 1 month later. The envelope arrives on a Tuesday. Hand-delivered. Expensive paper. Her father's law firm logo. Embossed in gold. Daria stares at it for 10 minutes before opening it. Inside, legal documents. An ultimatum. Annul the engagement, return home, resume your place in the family, or be formally disowned. Cut from the will. Name removed from all family businesses and properties. You have 48 hours to decide. Her father's signature at the bottom. Cold. Final. Choose us or lose everything. Daria reads it 3 times, then sets it on fire, watches it burn in the kitchen sink. Romano finds her there 20 minutes later, staring at the ashes. "What was that?" he asks. "My father's last attempt at control." She turns to face him. "He gave me 48 hours to annul our engagement and come home, or be disowned permanently." Romano goes very still. "What did you say?" "I didn't say anything." She gestures to the sink. "I burned it." "Daria." "No." Her voice is steady, certain. "I'm done negotiating with people who think love is conditional, who think they can control me with money and threats and ultimatums. I made my choice. It doesn't change just because they put a deadline on it." Romano crosses to her, takes her face in his hands. You're giving up your inheritance, your family name, everything you grew up with. I know. For me. For us. She covers his hands with hers. Stop trying to make this about you being unworthy. This is about me choosing the life I want, not the life I'm supposed to want. And you want this? Danger and violence and a man with blood on his hands? I want you. She pulls him close. Blood and all, monster and all, nightmare and all. I want you. He kisses her like she's saving him. Maybe she is. Your father's going to follow through, he warns. He'll disown you, cut you off completely. Let him. She smiles, sad but sure. I don't need his money, and I don't need his approval. I just need you. Wrong priority. Right priority. Only priority that matters. That night, they make love like the world is ending. Desperate. Claiming. Trying to prove something neither of them can articulate. Afterward, Romano holds her in the dark. I'll take care of you, he promises. You won't regret this. I know. You gave up everything for me. No. She turns in his arms. I gave up everything that was killing me slowly. There's a difference. Your family never saw me. The truth comes out raw, honest. They saw the version of me they wanted. The obedient daughter, the successful career woman, the girl who made safe choices. But they never saw me. The part of me that craves danger, that needs intensity, that can't breathe in a world of safety and predictability. And I see that part. You are that part, she kisses him. You're the chaos I was always too scared to claim, until I wasn't. Romano's arms tighten around her. Protective. Possessive. His. No regrets? He asks one more time. None, she lies. Because of course, she has regrets. She regrets that choosing love meant losing family. That being true to herself meant being cast out. That the price of freedom was everything she used to be. But she'd pay it again. Every single time. Because some cages are made of gold and good intentions. And breaking free costs everything. But it's worth it. It has to be. 6 months pass. Daria doesn't hear from her family. Not on her birthday. Not on holidays. Not ever. The silence should get easier. It doesn't. But she learns to live with it. Learns to build a life that doesn't include them. Romano helps. Not by replacing what she lost, but by showing her what she gained. Freedom. Choice. A life built on truth instead of expectation. They're having coffee one morning when Luca interrupts. Boss, we have a situation. Romano's expression does not change, but Daria's learned to read the tension in his shoulders. Something's wrong. What kind of situation? Romano asks. The Castellano family. They're making moves on the docks, our territory. They're testing boundaries. How many men? 15, maybe 20. Romano sets down his coffee. When? Tonight, midnight, they're expecting resistance. They'll get it. He stands. Gather the crew, full armament. I'm coming with you, Daria says. Both men turn to stare at her. Absolutely not, Romano says. You don't get to decide that. Yes, I do. You're not. I'm not what? Capable, strong enough, yours to control? She stands. You taught me to shoot. You taught me to survive. Now let me prove I can. This isn't a shooting range, Daria. This is war. People die in war. I know. Her voice steadies. That's why I'm coming. Because if you're going to risk your life, I'm not sitting at home waiting to find out if you come back. Romano's jaw clenches. This is non-negotiable. You're right. She crosses to him. It is. I'm coming. You can either let me come prepared or I'll follow you anyway and be a liability. Your choice. Silence. Luca wisely stays quiet. Romano stares at her, reading her, measuring her resolve. Finally, you stay in the car. You don't engage unless there's no other option. And if I tell you to run, you run. Understood? Understood. I mean it, Daria. You run and you don't look back. You survive. That's all that matters. She nods. Lies. Because if it comes down to running or saving him, she's not running. Not anymore. The smell of salt water and gasoline fills the air. Daria sits in the back of Romano's car, gun heavy in her lap, heart hammering against her ribs. Luca is in the driver's seat. Romano stands outside with his crew, 10 men, all armed, all ready, waiting. The Castellano family arrives at 12:03 a.m. 3 cars, 20 men, more than expected. Romano doesn't flinch, just signals his crew. They spread out, strategic, professional, predators waiting for the right moment. The leader of the Castellano crew steps forward, tall, scarred, holding a shotgun like an extension of his arm. Arcuri, he calls out, we can do this easy or hard, your choice. You're on my territory, Romano says calmly. That makes it my choice, and I choose hard. The man smiles. I was hoping you'd say that. Everything happens at once. Gunfire. Shouting. Chaos. Daria watches through the window, gun raised, every muscle tense. Romano moves like violence choreographed. Fast, efficient, brutal. 2 men go down. Then 3. His crew fights with the same precision. They're winning. Until they're not. A 4th car appears. Reinforcements. The Castellano family brought backup. Now it's 20 against 15. Bad odds. Romano signals retreat. His crew starts pulling back. Controlled. Organized. That's when Daria sees it. The man with the rifle. On the rooftop. Aimed at Romano's back. No time to think. Only time to move. She's out of the car before Luca can stop her. Running. Screaming Romano's name. He turns. Sees her. Sees the rifle. Sees the choice she just made. The shot rings out. Daria feels the impact. Not in her body. In her soul. Romano tackled her. Took her to the ground. The bullet meant for him hits the car instead. They're on the concrete, his body covering hers, gunfire still raging around them. What the hell were you thinking? He shouts. You were going to die. So you decided to die instead? Yes. The word hangs between them. Raw. Honest. Insane. Romano's expression fractures. You promised to stay in the car. And you promised to be careful. She touches his face. We're both liars. More gunfire. Luca appears covering them. Boss, we need to move. Romano pulls Daria to her feet. They run, together, ducking behind shipping containers as bullets ricochet off metal. His crew provides cover. They make it to the car. All of them. Alive. Barely. Romano drives like death is chasing them. Maybe it is. No one speaks. Not until they're back at the penthouse. Safe. For now. Romano slams the door. Turns on her. You could have died. So could you. That's different. How? Daria's voice rises. How is it different? Because you're the one who's supposed to take bullets? Because I'm supposed to sit safely in cars while you risk everything? Yes. That's not how this works, Romano. You don't get to risk your life for me and then expect me to do nothing when you're in danger. That's exactly how this works. He's shouting now, really shouting. I protect you. That's the deal. That's what I do. You don't get to. I love you. The words explode out of her. I love you and I'm not going to watch you die. Not for me, not for territory, not for anything. So if that means I break your rules and risk my life to save yours, then I'll break every rule you have. Romano goes silent, just stares at her, breathing hard. Finally, you're going to get us both killed. Probably, she crosses to him, but we'll die together. Isn't that better than one of us living with the guilt of surviving the other? Wrong logic, right sentiment. He pulls her close, kisses her like he's drowning and she's air. Don't ever do that again, he murmurs against her mouth. I can't promise that. Try. Okay. She kisses him back. I'll try. Another lie. They both know it. But some lies are kinder than the truth. And the truth is this. Daria would take a bullet for him. Romano would burn the world to keep her safe. And neither of them knows how to stop. Love as mutual destruction. Devotion as shared death wish. They're going to destroy each other. Or die trying. 3 months after the docks, Daria wakes to an empty bed. Not unusual. Romano's nightmares have gotten worse since that night, since she threw herself into gunfire to save him, since she proved that love and insanity look exactly the same. She finds him on the balcony, dawn breaking over the city, coffee going cold in his hand. Couldn't sleep? She asks. Never can anymore. He doesn't turn, just keeps staring at the skyline like it holds his answers. I keep seeing you running toward that rifle. Keep hearing the shot, keep feeling the impact. But I'm fine. This time. He finally looks at her. What about next time? Or the time after that? How many times can we survive each other before our luck runs out? The question sits heavy between them. Because he's right. They've been living on borrowed time since the moment she got in his car 6 months ago. Since she chose chaos over safety. Him over everything. Maybe luck has nothing to do with it, she says quietly. Then what does? Choice. She moves to stand beside him. Every morning we wake up and choose this. Choose each other. Choose to keep fighting even though the odds are against us. That's not sustainable to sorrow. No, she agrees. It's not. But it's ours. Silent stretches. Not uncomfortable. Just heavy. Weighted with everything they've survived and everything still coming. I got a call yesterday, Romano says. From the Castellano family. They want to negotiate, end the territorial dispute, establish permanent boundaries. That's good, isn't it? It's suspicious. His jaw clenches. They don't negotiate unless they're planning something worse, unless they found a different angle. Or maybe they're tired of losing men. Maybe. He doesn't sound convinced. Or maybe they're just waiting for the right moment to strike. Then we stay ready. Romano turns to face her fully, studies her. You've changed, he says. So have you. I know. His hand rises to cup her face. I used to think I could keep you separate from this world, keep you safe in the penthouse while I handled the blood and violence. But you won't let me. No, she agrees. I won't. Why? The question is genuine, vulnerable. Because separated, we're just two broken people trying to survive, she says. Together we're something else, something stronger, something that can survive anything. Or destroy everything. Maybe both. He kisses her then. Soft. Searching. Like he's trying to memorize the taste of her. I love you, he murmurs. God help me, I love you. I know. She smiles against his mouth. I love you too. The diamond still catches light, even after a year of wearing it, even after everything it represents. Daria sits in Romano's office, their office now, reviewing financial reports for the legitimate businesses, while he handles the less legitimate ones in the next room. This is their life now. Partnership, equal parts love and business. Light and dark. Her phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Your father had a heart attack. He's asking for you. Her breath stops. She reads it 3 times, then shows it to Romano. He reads it once. It could be a trap, he says carefully. I know. The Castellano family could be using this to draw you out. I know that too. But you want to go anyway. Not a question. A statement. He's my father, she says quietly. I haven't spoken to him in over a year. If he's dying, if this is my last chance, then we go together. Romano stands. Luca in full security detail. We don't take chances. Romano? Non-negotiable. His voice is firm. You want to see your father? Fine. But you do it safely. With me. Or not at all. She should argue. Should insist she can handle this alone. But she's learned something in the past year. Accepting help isn't weakness. It's survival. Okay, she says, together. Her father looks smaller than she remembers. Frailer. Hooked up to machines that beep and hiss and monitor the slow failure of his body. Her mother sits beside his bed. Doesn't look up when Daria enters. Doesn't acknowledge her at all. Dad? Daria's voice cracks. His eyes open. Focus on her. Daria. Her name comes out raspy, weak. You came. Of course I came. He tries to smile. Fails. I was wrong, he says. About Romano. About you. About everything. Her mother makes a noise. Disgust? Disagreement? Daria doesn't care. You don't have to, she starts. I do. He coughs, struggles. I do have to say it. I cut you off because you embarrassed me. Because you chose a life I didn't approve of. But you were right. You chose yourself. That takes courage I never had. Tears burn her eyes. Dad, let me finish. Another cough. I'm dying, Daria. Weeks, maybe days. And I don't want to die with this between us. I don't want my last act to be disowning my daughter for having the strength to live her own life. Thomas, don't, her mother starts. Enough, Margaret. His voice gains strength. Enough. She's our daughter, and I'm not dying with this regret. He looks at Daria. Really looks at her. I'm proud of you, he says. I should have said it years ago, but I'm saying it now. I'm proud of the woman you've become. Even if I don't understand your choices, I'm proud that you have the courage to make them. She's crying now. Can't help it. I forgive you, she whispers. I don't deserve it. I know. She takes his hand. But I'm giving it anyway, because holding on to anger would destroy me, and I've already lost enough. Her father squeezes her hand, weak but present. He loves you, he says. I can see it. The way he looked at me when you walked in here, like he'd kill me if I hurt you. That's real, Daria. Whatever else he is, he loves you. I know. Then that's enough. His eyes close. Love is always enough. Her father dies on a Tuesday. Quiet. Peaceful. Surrounded by family. Daria is there. So is Romano. Her mother still doesn't speak to her, but she doesn't object to her presence either. Small victories. At the funeral, Daria stands beside Romano, wearing black, wearing his ring, wearing the identity she chose. Daughter, orphan, wife-to-be. Her extended family watches, judging, calculating, wondering if her father's death changes anything. It doesn't. After the service, Daria's uncle approaches. Your father changed his will, he says. 2 days before he died. You're back in it. Full inheritance. He wanted you to know he meant what he said, about being proud. The words hit like a physical blow. I don't want his money, she says. I know. Her uncle smiles sadly. That's probably why he left it to you. Take it, use it. Build something good. That's what he wanted. He walks away. Leaves Daria standing there. Wealthy again. Free again. Changed forever. Romano's hand finds hers. You okay? He asks quietly. No. Honest raw. But I will be. What do you want to do? She looks at the gathering. At her mother, stiff and cold. At her relatives, calculating her worth. At the life she left behind. I want to go home, she says. To the penthouse? No. She squeezes his hand. To wherever you are. That's home now. The war with the Castellano family ends. Not with violence. With negotiation. Boundaries established. Peace, fragile but real, achieved. For the first time in years, Romano sleeps through the night. No nightmares. No gunfire. Just peace. Daria lies beside him, watching him breathe, thinking about everything that brought them here. The blood. The choices. The losses. The love. Was it worth it? The question haunts her. Not because she regrets choosing Romano, but because she knows the cost. Her family. her safety, the version of herself that made sense. All gone. All sacrifice for this. A man who loves her enough to kill for her. A life built on danger and devotion. A future with no guarantees. Was it worth it? She looks at the ring on her finger. Still there. Still claiming her. Still marking her as his. And she realizes something. The question isn't whether it was worth it. The question is whether she'd do it again. And the answer is always yes. Every single time. Because some loves don't make sense. They just make you alive. Romano's eyes open. Find hers in the darkness. What are you thinking about? He murmurs. Everything, she says. Nothing. Us. Regrets? She considers lying. Decides on truth instead. 1,000, she says. But not you. Never you. He pulls her close. Holds her like she's the only thing keeping him tethered to earth. Maybe she is. I don't deserve you, he whispers. Probably not. She kisses him. But you're stuck with me anyway. Promise? Promise. This isn't a happy ending. It's just an ending. Daria and Romano don't ride off into the sunset. They stay in the city. In the danger. In the life they built together. Some days are good. Some days are violent. Some days they wonder if love is supposed to feel this much like war. But they stay. They choose each other. Again and again. Not because it's easy, but because it's theirs. The ring stays on her finger. The blood stays on his hands. And they survive. Together. For now. Because in their world, forever isn't guaranteed. Just today. And today is enough. If this story broke something in you, if it made you remember or realize or recognize yourself in Daria's impossible choice, then you understand what dark romance really means. It's not about the fantasy of danger. It's about the reality of loving someone who will destroy you and choosing them anyway. Subscribe, because stories like this, stories that don't apologize, don't soften the edges, don't promise happy endings, are the ones that stay with you. Comment one thing. What would you sacrifice for love? Be honest. We're all liars here. And if you need more stories that understand the cost of choosing wrong or choosing right in the wrongest way possible, hit that notification bell. Because Mafia Desire Secrets doesn't do fairy tales. We do truth, and truth always costs blood. See you in the next dark romance, if you survive this one.